Hi, and welcome to Getting Started with HelloSign, our Essentials Plan. My name is Kate. I'm a Customer Success Program Manager, and I'm going to be walking you through our web app today within our Essentials Plan. So, a quick overview of what we're going to be taking a look at. We're going to look at creating a signature request. We're also going to take a look at how to streamline those requests by using templates. We'll flip it around to take a brief look at the signer experience and then jump back into our demo where we'll look at where you can track your documents as well as set your settings. Before we dive into the demo, I do want to point out the great flexibility you're getting as a user. Not only are you getting amazing flexibility within our HelloSign editor by being able to add truly customized experiences for your signers, but you're also getting the transaction trail between all signing parties. So you're truly able to track all activity that happens on your documents. You're also getting flexibility for your signers. Your signers are going to be able to sign their documents anywhere that they happen to be. So if they're at their laptop or desktop, or even on their smartphone and on their tablet. If you are using our feature template links, you can even set up in-person signing on your tablet. So let's jump into our demo and take a look at some of these features in action. Here within your login screen, you're automatically going to see your two options to sign or send and create a template. This is how you can easily jump into the requesting process. Before we dive in there, let's take a look at a little bit of navigation. So in your upper right-hand corner of your home screen, you're going to see your login email. In your drop-down menu, you're going to see create a signature if you haven't already, as well as the remaining signature requests that you have, which is going to be unlimited requests, as well as the remaining templates you have available to yourself. And then, of course, you can jump into your settings. Let's go ahead and create our signature. Here we're going to have three different options. The first being drawing in your signature. You can also type in your signature. If you're typing in your signature, you can select from a couple of different fonts. So if you're trying to find something that is a little closer to your handwriting or a little bit fancier. And then you also have the option to upload a photo directly from your computer. So let's go ahead and select our default signature. Now, if you hover over your login email, you'll see that default signature that you have selected. Just to the left of that, you'll see you can easily jump into the requesting process as well with this signed documents. And then here, all the way on the left-hand side, you'll see you also have the option to jump into your requesting flow by selecting signed documents. You also see you have your template management center here and your documents management center here, as well as any of our out-of-the-box integrations. We're going to take a closer look at all of those options after we go through creating a signature request. So let's go ahead and select sign or send. Your first step here is going to be uploading the file or files you'd like for your signers to sign. So you're going to be able to upload directly from your computer here, or you can add a template which you've already created. You're also going to be able to use any of your file sharing services such as Dropbox or Google Drive, or you have a simple drag and drop. For this, I'm going to go ahead and upload from my computer. So I'm going to select a sample sales agreement, and then I'm also going to select one more, which is going to be a sample NDA. Now that I've created my packet, what I want to do is make sure that these are in the correct order. So if I want my NDA to go first, what I can do is easily rearrange these by dragging and dropping them into a new order. Once I've got them in the correct order, I can now select next. Now I need to add my signers. So let's go ahead and add our first signer's name and email address. And to add another signer, simply select add another signer. So now you'll also see at the very bottom here, I have set signer order. So this allows you to determine who on your list is going to sign first, second, third, and so on. If you do not need to have a dedicated signer order, all you need to do is let that stay unchecked, and everyone on your list will get the email as it is sent to their email provider and they can sign whenever they're able to. Now, one more thing I want to point out before we move on is the option for I'm the only signer. Now, this is going to allow you to go ahead, upload your documents, just like we did with our sales agreement and our NDA, and then only add your own information on here. So if you needed to maybe send a letter out to your entire company with your signature on it, this is how you're going to be able to do that. It's just going to bypass this step of adding your signers. All right, so let's go ahead and select next in the upper right-hand corner. And now we'll be moved into the third step, which is placing our fields down here within the HelloSign editor. You're going to have all of your standard fields here on the left-hand side of your editor, starting with your signature and going all the way down to your checkbox. So let's place a few fields down. I'm going to start with my text box down here towards the bottom. Here I'm going to go ahead and click in my name field, and I can also move that to exactly where I'd like it with a simple drag and drop. And if I need to resize, I'm able to do so by using the bottom right-hand corner and pulling it further out. If I needed to make this larger, for example, if I needed a paragraph of information, I'm able to do so as well. Now you'll notice on the right-hand side, you have a few more options available to you. First being assign to. So here, with this dropdown, I can select who needs to fill this particular text box out. I can leave that assigned to Andy. I can update it to Tyler, or I can edit my signers entirely. So if I wanted to make sure that everything was spelled correctly, I had the right email address, I'm able to do so with this option. I'm also able to swap out signers or add signers. I can remove any of the signers I already have, as well as assign signer order directly here in my edit signers pop-up. Our text boxes are going to default to required. If you need to toggle this off, you're able to do so. And then you'll see we have our placeholder text. Placeholder text is something I like to refer to simply as help text. So here, if I did not have the name populated here to prompt my signers as to what I wanted, I can easily use my placeholder text and put name. Now this is going to populate for my signers so they know exactly what I'm looking for when they come to fill this particular box out. I'm also able to update my font as well as my font size. And I have the option for validation. So if I want to make sure that specific information is going in here, for example, I'm requesting a name. Maybe I want to make sure that there are letters only there. So I can select letters only. If my signer enters in a random 3, then they will get a notification letting them know that they need to correct and have letters only. All right, let's place another text box down. And you'll notice that the system has remembered exactly what field I had already selected, which was the text box, exactly the resize of it, and who it was assigned to. So I'm going to resize this again and place that back to Andy. And lastly, let's place one text box here. And since maybe this is information I'm already going to know, what you can do is actually use your assign to and select me now. This is going to allow you as a requester to enter in information that will pre-populate for your signers. So maybe I'm going to do an on-site visit for viewing. Now, when both my signers come to fill this out, they will already see this information. This can also be used, say, if I wanted to pre-populate my signers' names, I could do that as well. So now I want to move on and point out another feature here, which is our initials feature. Here, this allows me to add a little bit more emphasis on specific passages on my document. For example, if I wanted to go ahead and have my signer sign off on these two specific passages, I'm able to do so with these initials. This is a great resource if you need them to sign off on every page. Maybe you have specific terms that you need your signers to sign off on. These initials are a great option there. Moving further down, we have our signature field. So here, I'm going to go ahead and place my first signature. And remember, the system is still remembering who I had last selected to be assigned to those fields. So it's automatically populating Andy. Here I can go ahead and place this down and update this to Tyler. And now I want to grab my date signed. Your date signed, as you can see, is under our autofill fields. So this is going to be a default field. It will automatically populate with this date that the signer is working on and completes this particular document. Next up, I want to use this space here to point out a few of our additional features. One being our checkbox. So here with the checkbox, I'm just going to place a few down. So I have 4 checkboxes here. They're not in the best grouping order. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a simple drag and drop and lasso these together. Now I have some additional options along the top of my right-hand side editor. So I can use these to snap them into alignment to have a more polished and professional look. I also have the option now to group these checkboxes together so they're now dependent upon each other. So now I can select how many my signer needs to be required to check off. So maybe it's 0, maybe it's 1, as well as a maximum. So if you are wanting to use checkboxes for self-identification purposes, such as Mr., Mrs., Doctor, what have you, you're able to do so by using this particular option of minimum 1, maximum 1. Or you can do a variation of all of them. Next, I want to point out the rest of our autofill fields here. So first I'm going to select my name here. And I'm going to place this down. And now I'm going to update this to Andy. And let's place the email as well. Email addresses can tend to be a little longer, so I'm going to go ahead and update that to be a longer. And then I'm going to have my company as well as my title. Now we'll notice these aren't in the best alignment either, so I can use that simple lasso move again and snap those into alignment as well. Now with your autofill fields, these are going to auto-populate based on the information that you have already entered in for your signer's information. For example, you've already put in their name and email. The company and title will automatically be pulled from their profile within HelloSign. So if they already are a HelloSign customer and they have their profile filled out, these will automatically populate. If they do not have their profile filled out or they're not a HelloSign customer, not to worry, these will populate as regular text boxes. You'll see the company line there as well as the title, so the signer will know exactly what to fill out. One last thing I wanted to point out here, and I'm just going to place a few of these down here. So I'm going to place my address and my city, and let's do a zip. And these are all assigned to Andy. Now we'll notice that we have our seller's information, which is going to be the exact same information that we need from our buyer. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to use that little lasso move there. And with a quick shortcut of copy and now paste, I can now drag this down to where I need that information again. Keeping them grouped together, I can now update those all to Tyler. This can be very helpful when you're working with repetitive information, so you don't have to keep creating those same text boxes or any of the other fields that we already have. All right, once you've placed all of your fields down, go ahead and select next in the upper right-hand corner, and you now are on your last step of simply reviewing your signer's information, as well as being able to add a CC if you have this enabled. Adding a CC allows you to include someone on the email chain of the HelloSign request. So this individual will receive an email that the request has been sent, and then once it has been completed by all parties, they will receive an email letting them know that the request has been completed, and they will receive a finalized PDF copy. This is something that you will have to enable within your settings, and we will take a look at that when we get to our settings portion. And now we just need to enter in our title. So let's do agreement for purchase. If you'd like, you can add an additional message, which will populate within your email. All right, once you're ready, go ahead and send for signature. You're redirected back to your home page, And you can easily jump to your documents with your notification across the top, or simply jump into your documents from your main navigation menu along the left-hand side. Now, before we go ahead and look at the signing experience, let's take a look at how we can streamline what we just walked through by the process of using templates. So I'm going to jump into our templates section from the main left-hand side menu. And you'll see we have two different options for your templates. The first being create a standard template here, which can be customized to every signer you have assigned on this particular document. So you can have more than one signer. This is also going to go through the standard HelloSign emailing process. So your signers will receive an email from HelloSign, and they will then be able to sign their document. The second option here is create a link. This is going to create a template link, which allows you to then get that template to your signers however you see fit. So if you would like to put this in a personal email, you're able to do so, or maybe you want to put this directly on your website. And as I mentioned when we first started out today, you're also able to use these for in-person signing if you're using a template. It is important to note that template links are going to be for single signers only, so it is going to be the same process every single time. For the purpose of this demo, we're going to go ahead and create a standard template. And just like we just walked through, a lot of these steps are going to be almost entirely identical. So first step, add in your document. So I'm going to upload that NDA again. You can upload additional documents if you'd like to create a packet, just like we did before. Once you've uploaded everything, you can go ahead and select next and add your roles. Now, since you know in theory who these individuals are, but not exactly the individual themselves, you need to come up with their role. You can have signer one, signer two. Maybe you want to do something more specific to your specific document. For example, if you're using a permission slip for children, maybe you want to use guardian and teacher. For this, I'm going to use visitor. Do visitor one and visitor two. I have the same options as before, set signer order. And so now I'm going to go ahead and select next to place our fields down. Now everything looks exactly the same as what we just walked through. The only difference is there's going to be an option here. So I'm going to grab my text box and place this down. And as we looked at before, with a one-off send, you're able to actually enter in this information as the requester. Well, for this template, this is information that I know my requester is going to know prior to sending, and we want to make this customized to our signers. So what we're going to do now with our assign to is drop this down and select sender. Now I'm going to use my merge field here all the way down to the bottom on the right-hand side and put in the information that I need to be filled out within this field. So I'm going to say name of visitor one. I can add another here under my second name here if I want, and I can do sender. Let's resize that. And again, let's do visitor two. Now what I can do is go ahead and enter in some additional text boxes for my signers to fill out. So maybe we want this to be visitor one. We'll keep this to visitor two here. We can scroll down and add in our signatures. Once you've placed all of your fields down, go ahead and select next. We're in that final step again. All you need to do is review your signer roles. If you need to use that CC option, you're able to, and title your template. So I'm going to do NDA. And now I can save my template. And then I do want to jump back to our home page here. You can also jump into that flow directly from the home page by selecting create a template. It will automatically take you through that creating a standard template flow. Now, to use the template we just used without having to go to our template or document section, I can go to sign or send. I can add a template. I can select that NDA, move on. All I need to do is go ahead and enter in my signer's information and my second signer. Now I can select next. I can review my signers. I can easily go ahead and enter in the name of visitor one, the name of visitor two. If I'd like, I can update my title here and I can add an additional message and I can go ahead and send for signature. So you can see how using a template can really streamline that process by being able to still have that customization, but skipping that entire editing step. It's already set up for you. So go ahead and be able to use it over and over and still being able to use that customization. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the signing experience. So I'm going to pull up that email that I sent when we sent off our first request. So now we see we have this email from Andy Jones to sign our agreement for purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this request. I see I have my message here, please complete before your visit. So I can select review and sign. In the upper left-hand corner with this kebab menu, you are going to see that your signers do have this option to decline. This is going to allow your signers to provide a reason for declining to sign this particular document. The requester, as well as anyone who has been CC'd, will receive an email notification with this information. Now you can easily get started by automatically going to the first field that you see, or you can select Get Started. When you use the Get Started button, it automatically takes you to the very first field that you are assigned to, and you can see how many fields you have left. So let's go ahead and put our name down here. We see we already have the on-site visit information populated that we did for the Me Now when we filled that out. And then we have our next field, which is our initials. So now I have the option to insert my initials in the one location that I have just clicked in, or if I have more locations, I can select Insert Everywhere. Now I can move on to my next field. And I'll go ahead and click to sign. Again, I already have saved signatures, so I can already have that populate here. However, if I did not, I would have those same options to draw in, type in, or upload. So let's go ahead and insert. Now we come to our autofill fields. So we see that that's automatically populated by the information that I had within my HelloSign account associated with this email. Now, if I needed to, I could update this because I'm definitely not the CEO of HelloSign. So I can update this to, let's do Program Manager. If this was requested anywhere else on the document, that update would automatically populate in those subsequential fields as well. Now I can select next and on to my next field. I can continue to fill out the fields required by me. Once I have filled out all of my fields, I will see a notification along the top and I can select continue. You have your HelloSign terms of service. If your signers would like to click into, they are able to, and then they can select I agree. You're redirected to your thank you for submitting your documents page, and they have completed the signature request. Back into our demo account, let's go ahead and jump into our documents section. So within your document section, you're going to see all the requests that you have worked on. You can drill into them based on their status, and then you can also jump into your templates and your drafts. So for here, I'm taking a look at this out for signature agreement that we just sent. If I click anywhere in this general vicinity, I'm going to get a slide out menu, and I can see exactly who has already signed and who still needs to sign. I can see the subject as well as any message that I have provided within my email. With my quick actions drop-down menu, I'm going to be able to rename this document. I can download the PDF. I can also preview, so I can see what progress has already been made. So I can see all of the information that Andy has already filled out. And you'll also be able to automatically see the transaction audit trail. So you'll have your document history there, and you'll be able to track all of the movements. Back in your document section, you also see you have the option to edit and resend, and you can send reminders. You have the option to send manual reminders through this process, but we also have the option to set up automated reminders that go out 3 and 7 days after you have sent your request and your signer has not signed. Jumping into our template section, I do want to point out you do have the same options here. you have a quick slide out menu here, as well as your quick actions. So if you need to edit or duplicate or use this template, you're going to be able to do so with this quick actions dropdown. Moving into our integration section here. This is going to show you all of our out of the box integrations that you're able to set up by simply selecting activate and following the prompts. If you are interested in something like our HelloSign for Salesforce, you would need to reach out to our sales team to set up the additional subscription. And then if you're interested in your own integrations, you do have the option to use Zapier to create those connections. Now let's go ahead and pivot and jump into our settings. So from my login email, I'm going to go ahead and select My Settings. Now you're first going to be automatically taken to your business features. I do want to point out you will see this upgrade to unlock. So these are going to be features that are available on plans starting on our business plans. It just provides a little bit of branding and customization for your emails. Moving into your profile, this is going to be where you can store all of your own personal information as well as manage your notifications. So here you can update your name, as well as your language, your company, your role, as well as your date format, your time zone, and then also your notifications here. I highly recommend coming here and setting up what notifications you would like to receive and not receive. This is also going to be where you can set up your reminders. And again, those will go out automatically 3 and 7 days after you've sent your original request. Email PDF copies is going to be the next option here. If you want to be able to enable that CC option, you will want to make sure you have this second option checked off. This will enable the ability to CC individuals on your requests. Then you're also going to have the option for your two-factor auth. You can set up the SMS verification or you can set up the Google Authenticator. You also have the ability to enable e-sign disclosure. E-sign disclosure requires your signers to opt in to the e-signing process before even being able to enter in any information on the document. You also have the ability to look at your account activity. And of course, you want to make sure that if you do make any changes, scroll all the way to the bottom and select Save. Scrolling all the way back up to the top, we've already taken a look at our integrations. I do want to point out very briefly our API here. If you are interested in testing out the API, you are able to do so for free. You can come here and grab Create a Key, and you can go ahead and test it out for yourself. And then lastly, we have our billing. So your billing section is going to tell you exactly what plan you are on, how many requests you have, as well as your templates. You'll be able to see your card that you have on file and manage that, as well as view any of your invoices and receipts. HelloSign does not proactively send these out, so if you do need to grab a copy, please go ahead and come to your billing section. All right, so as we wrap up, I do want to point out some resources available to you. So you can always jump on our online community. It's a great place to connect with other users, such as yourself, as well as other HelloSign experts. And of course, you can always check out our Help Center. It has a library of articles, but also short tutorial videos that walk you through specific features, as well as other webinars that you're able to attend live. And then, of course, you can always reach out to our support team at support@hellosign.com. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Happy signing.